What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. We've got MLB postseason wildcard series recap, the games 1 and 2 of LDS, both AL and NL recap. We've got NFL Week 5 recap and Week 6 predictions, and we've got college football Week 6 preview, or recap, and Week 7 preview. Before we go into that, I wish this didn't have to start on a serious note, but being that I am a Jew, and this revolves around my own religion, and that I'm even stuck in this situation, I want to talk about it. So, if you're not aware of the news, it would have been between Friday and Saturday, U.S. I think it was Friday night, Saturday in Israel. Hamas, a terrorist group, had attacked Israel, took a bunch of captives, and has basically started a war with Israel. And it's not a pretty thing. And at the moment, with it happening, I don't know how soon I'm going to be getting out of Israel, because at the moment flights are being canceled by the day, and I'm hoping still there's a chance I can get out at some point, but I don't know how long it's gonna be a while till I get out, but we'll see what happens. But I want to start off with that. I'm really hoping that this war ends soon, A, and B, that I can get out of this country soon, because though I do love Israel, I want to get out of here at this point, and it's just kind of been a bit too much of a toll on me, physically and mentally. And yeah, wanted to at least mention in the open, I will say a lot of sports teams and leagues, NBA, NHL, Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Marlins, Washington Commanders, Washington Wizards, Philadelphia 76ers, and a whole bunch of other teams have come out backing up Israel, which is very nice to see as a Jew. I hope more teams do, even at this point still. And they've come out like publicly on Twitter/X, which I do. I am on Twitter. Link is always in my link tree within the description of each episode. But yeah, that's current status. At this point, I don't know when I'm gonna be going back. At the moment, I think I have a flight to go back next Tuesday, but I don't know if that's even gonna happen at this point. I could be stuck here for days, I could be stuck here for months, I could be stuck here for weeks. But hopefully I get out of this country soon. Yeah. I'm not doing Immaculate Grid today, just because I had already done it, and I only like doing it when I have not done it before. But just for those who might want to still know what the grid is, the top row is Toronto Blue Jays, Milwaukee Brewers, and 200 plus strikeouts in a season pitching. And then San Diego Padres, Chicago Cubs, and San Francisco Giants going down. I got 8 out of 9. I did not get the Padres 200 plus strikeout season because I put in the Giants guy in the Padres spot, and I lost me, I guess. But my answers for the grid this week, and at the moment at 8:12 Israel time, which is like 1 p.m. or so, something like that, U.S. time, with those percentages at that time. Roberto Alomar was my answer for Blue Jays Padres, which is 13%. Yan Gomes for Blue Jays Cubs at 0.8%. Kevin Pillar for Blue Jays Giants. And Alomar is the only most common answer I have of this grid today to this point. At 13% for Kevin Pillar. For Padres Brewers, I have Gary Sheffield at 7%. For Brewers Cubs, I have Eric Sogard, who played at the end of his career for both teams, 2020 with Brewers, 2021 with Cubs. And then for Brewers Giants, I have Will Smith. Of course, I did not get Padres 200 plus career strikeouts. An answer I could have used is Blake Snell. There are 8 other answers. Let's see I'm curious. I could have used Joe Musgrove, Tyson Ross, James Shields, Ian Kennedy, Jake Peavy, Kevin Brown, and Clay Kirby. PV's done it 3 times, so it's not 8, it's more like 6. But yeah, so could have, but because I messed up, it did not work out. My answer for Cubs 200 plus strikeouts in the season was John Lester, which was 10%, and then for the Giants was Gaylord Perry at 0.4%, who I by accident put in Padres at first, which I don't think even played for the Padres ever. Let alone 200 plus strikeout season with the Padres. Pretty sure. I'll double check that. But yeah. So no immaculate grid. Just for that reason. Nothing more, nothing less. But yeah. So postseason. Well, I can already tell you some of my prediction areas are off to a very good start. And wildcard predictions actually went really good. Division series, on the other hand, is shaky. The series are 2-0. One of them I'm wrong. I'm 1-1. The 1-1 series, well, you can't really give a judgment of if I'm correct or not. And I will dive into, but let's at least, while I'm still waiting to load on this Gaylord Berry baseball reference page, let's dive into the wildcard series recap. Starting off with the Rays and the Rangers outside, this was not much of a series. I thought this was going to go 3 games, which surprisingly for the first time since wildcard series has been a thing going back to 2020, it was only 2020, 2022, and 2023. No series went 3 games. 2020 had the White Sox, A's, and the Padres Cardinals go 3 games. Last year, Mets and Padres went 3 games. This year, none of them went 3 games. They all ended in a sweep. Let's start off. So Rangers took game 1 4-0 thanks to 4 errors by Tampa, which only one led to any sort of run, which was a Corey Seager RBI single and an error on Jose Siri scoring an additional run. 2 runs, but the error allowed a second run to score. And Jordan Montgomery going 7 shutout innings, giving up 6 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts, leading Texas to his first postseason win since Game 2 of 2015 ALDS versus Toronto, and 4th shutout in their postseason history as a franchise, first since Game 4 of the 2011 World Series versus St. Louis Cardinals. If you want to know what that game is infamous for, that was Derek Holland's game to remember. I don't remember exact stat line, but he had a really good performance that game. And Texas won that even the series, which, if you don't know about that World Series, that's definitely a postseason series you have to learn about. That is like, maybe more of like the last 2 games are a crazy part of it, but that World Series in its own is a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But yeah, if you don't know about that World Series, you got to go learn about it because that is a crazy World Series. And in Game 2, Texas won 7-1. Oh yeah, and one other point I forgot. The 4 errors Tampa made is the most they've ever made in a postseason game in their history, which they've been around since '98, but their first postseason appearance wasn't until 2008. And they've been making it relatively often since. But Texas won Game 2 7-1. El Bombi, or Adolis Garcia, and Evan Carter both homered. One each. Adolis started the scoring with a home run, and Evan Carter ended a 4-run inning. Sorry about that. In a 4-run inning for Texas. And Nathan Eovaldi went 6 2/3, giving up 6 hits. 1 earned run was taken out after giving up the run, which was an RBI single. No walks and 8 strikeouts leads Texas to first postseason series win since 2011 ALCS versus Detroit. So Texas moved on to face Baltimore, and we'll dive into that ALDS first 2 games in a moment. For Toronto, Minnesota, my prediction was, and this is one I got wrong, though I'm happy I got wrong. I said I want to pick Minnesota, but until they win a postseason series, let alone a game, I cannot pick Minnesota. And not only did they end this game's losing streak, they ended this series losing streak as well, which kudos to them. I am very happy they ended that streak. But I think they might have already ended their postseason run thanks to their fans after the wild card series. Let's dive into this. So, game one, Minnesota won 3-1 on the back of a 2-homer game from Royce Lewis in his postseason debut, and his first to do so since 2000, Evan Longoria in 2008 ALDS versus Game 1 versus the White Sox, and third overall with Gary Gaetti and Longoria. Gaetti doing it in 1987 ALCS Game 1. Pablo Lopez came to the park wearing a Johan Santana jersey, which for context was a winning pitcher in the last time the Twins won a postseason game prior to Game 1. And of course, this win. They finally won their first postseason game since Game 1 of the 2004 ALDS against the Yankees. 18 games, which is the longest such streak in North American sports history, and has lasted 19 years, which is an even crazier fact. In Game 2, they won 2-0. Barrios out too early after 2 innings, giving up a leadoff walk in second, and Gray picking off Vlad Jr. at second as tying run late in the game was key to give Minnesota first postseason series since 2002 ALDS versus the Moneyball A's. But yeah, it was all basically Minnesota loaded the bases in that inning, and then Correa RBI single on the ground and double play scoring run gave Minnesota all the runs they needed and all the runs they would get. But yeah, Minnesota ended both. Congrats to them. And by the way, that series streak is 21 years because add 2 years onto the 19, because 2004 to 2002, which just makes it even crazier. Arizona Milwaukee. The craziest thing of this series is a whole series in its own. Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte went back-to-back homers that tied the game, and Gabriel Moreno go-ahead home run led Arizona to win 6-3 in their first postseason game win since 2017 AL wildcard game against Colorado Rockies in 2017, NL, I should say. Not AL. They were down. Milwaukee jumped ahead 3-0, and Arizona then tied it and did not look back after seeing the lead. And they got 2 runs in the ninth off Devin Williams, which was already a blow in itself to Milwaukee. And then Game 2 came back from down 2-0 to win a postseason series for the first time since 2007 ALDS. Well, 2017 if you want to get in the wild card game, but that's not really a series. The first actual series win since the 2007 NLDS against the Chicago Cubs. No, I will not talk about that postseason series. No, is not really a series to look up because there wasn't really much to anything in that series other than just Arizona won. It was a sweep. Anyways, Miami and Philly. Philly took game 1 4-1 behind Zach Wheeler going 6 2/3, giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run, taken out after giving up that run. No walks and 8 strikeouts for Philly's win. And then they won game 2 7-1 on the back of a grand slam home run late by Bryson Stott and Aaron Nola going 7 innings, giving up 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, stealing a win and sending Philly to a rematch against the Atlanta Braves. And that is the results of the NL wildcard. So that set up Texas versus Baltimore, Minnesota versus Houston, Philly against Atlanta, and Arizona against LA. So now to the LDS, to first 2 games, because each series has had 2 games so far, not counting tonight's games. Baltimore and Texas, game 1, Texas won 3-2. Rookies Evan Carter and Josh Jung, big parts of the win. Carter had an RBI single, and Josh Jung had a solo home run, first and I think third runs underrated in that game. Baltimore just had a whole bunch of opportunities and did not take advantage. And then game 2, Texas won 11-8, down 2-0, scored 9 unanswered runs in the second and third. Baltimore tried to make a comeback, made a 3-run game in the ninth, but it didn't matter. Included Mitch Garver grand slam home run in his first postseason game, and he definitely showed that it was worth putting in the lineup for the game. Yeah, so that's the situation, is that Texas is up 2 games down going into tonight. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, now I can answer. Actually, Perry did play with the Padres. Gaylord Perry did play with the Padres, but however, he did not really come anywhere close to 200 strikeouts with San Diego when he played there. Just to answer that question, because I said I would get back to that. Okay, Minnesota Houston game one. Houston won 6-4 on the back of a 2-homer game from Yordan Alvarez, which was the first in his postseason career. And Jose Altuve, first pinch, bottom of the first inning homer, was his 8th postseason homer in the first inning, which is most in MLB history. Carlos Correa in his postseason return to Houston, 2 for 4 with a double, a single, a strikeout. Minnesota didn't even score any runs really till like 6th or 7th, and they got all the runs in that inning, but it was not enough because Jordan homered twice, and that's really the summary of the game, but the historic fact is always important. And Minnesota won game 2, 6-2. It was all of them from beginning to end. Carlos Correa, 3 RBIs for his sole team, RBI double and 2-run single. Now marks career RBIs number 63, 61, 62, and 63, passing Jeter and David Ortiz, who did for the Yankees and Red Sox respectively, for 4th on all-time list, now behind Bernie Williams and first with 80 from with the Yankees. Manny Ramirez, who did it with Cleveland, Boston, and LA with 78, and a tie with David Justice, who did it with Atlanta, Cleveland, New York, and Oakland with 63. So that series is 1-1. Philly and Atlanta, well, this has already been off to a crazier start compared to last year. Philly won game 1, 3-0. All of Philly, the run started because Spencer Strider tried to pick off, I forget who it was, but it was an error. Move the runner a second, he would score. And Atlanta just had so many scoring opportunities that they folded on and did nothing. Game 2, Atlanta won 5-4. Atlanta, who was no hit through 5 2/3 innings, ended on an RBI single and scored Acuna on error by Trey Turner. Braves came back in this game from down 4-0, capped off by Austin Riley. Go-ahead 2-run homer in the 8th to win to even the series at 1. Wheeler has postseason career high 9 strikeouts and is also first starting pitcher with 6+ strikeouts and 0 hits through 2 innings in postseason history. Game ended on an 8-3 double play, which was basically Harper was at first, Castellanos hit a fly ball into deep right center, which Harris was able to make a great play on, but Harper was already turning third as Harris made the catch. He tried to go back, but even with a little misplay in the infield, they got him, threw him out at first for a double play. So the even Steven series heading to Philly, and then LA and Arizona. Arizona took game 1, 11-2. 6-run first inning, 5 without even recorded. All given up by Clayton Kershaw on his worst postseason start ever. That there's no other headline for this game. That they just dominated LA. And game 2, they won 4-2. Zach Gallen going 5 1/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, leading Arizona to a series lead heading home with a chance to sweep, which would be a fitting revenge for what happened in 17 because they got swept in 17, in which the series was actually formatted. But yeah. So game 3 tonight, I will also give game 3 schedule for tomorrow. But this is going to include the pitching matchup. So game 3 for Houston at Minnesota tonight on Fox. I didn't include times for some reason. It's going to be Christian Javier for the Houston Astros and Sonny Gray for Minnesota Twins. Who's going to take the 2-1 series lead? The game is at 4:07 p.m. Eastern Time, and then at 8:03 Eastern Time is going to be Baltimore and Texas. That game will also be on Fox. Dean Kramer, who's Israeli and apparently even has family in Israel, as it came out today, pitching for Baltimore versus Nathan Eovaldi for Texas. Texas looks for the sweep. Tomorrow there will also be game 4s for Houston and for Arizona and for Houston and Minnesota and Baltimore, Texas, assuming Baltimore, Texas needs it. Minnesota has announced their starter to be Joe Ryan. Houston has not. No star has been announced for either team of Baltimore and Texas. Well, that also depends on if there is a game 4 or not. But if there game 4 for Houston would be at 2:07 p.m. Eastern and would be 7:07 Eastern, both on FS1. The 7:07 would be for Baltimore or Texas if need be. Game 3 for NL, Braves and at Phillies, 12:07. Oh, sorry, not 12:07. I'm thinking of for your time, for my time. 5:07 Eastern time. No announced starter for Atlanta yet. Aaron Nola pitching for Philly. And then at 9:07 p.m. Eastern time will be LA at Arizona. Lance Lynn pitching for LA. Brand Fott pitching for Arizona. No announced starter for Game 4 for either NL series. But that is the postseason update for baseball. We'll see how things unfold. Will Baltimore be able? Will Texas sweep Baltimore? Uh, will Arizona sweep LA? Will both of those go to Game 4? How long will these series last? Who's going to be in the LCS? And who will get off to a good start on the LCS? We'll see what happens between now and then. Let's start off with college football before we dive into NFL, because there was some craziness this week. Number 25 Louisville upset number 10 Notre Dame 33-20. Georgia Tech upset Miami 23-20, which this was dumb. Miami had the ball at 2017 with like 30 seconds left. All you have to do is just knee and you win the game. They had a timeout, but it's like, just knee and win the game. They decided to run it. They fumbled the ball, gave Georgia Tech the ball, and they scored a touchdown with 1 second left. Miami blew it. In the Red River Showdown, number 12 Oklahoma upset number 30 Texas 34-30. Ohio State, and I say this sadly, though they did win, but came back from down 10-0 and 17-10 to cruise over Maryland 37-17, because once they took the lead, they were basically in cruise control. I mean, you could even say, because their first touchdown was a pick six off Tagovailoa. Even from that point, you could say they cruised, but basically they cruised once they had the lead, and they never looked back, winning 37-17 in the end. Which, like, definitely annoying that they had to even make a comeback in the first place, but happy they won. Anyways, UCLA upset number 13 Washington State 25-17. Number 23 LSU upsets Missouri 49-39, coming back from down 22-7. And that is it for college football week 6 recap. Week 7 preview, Ohio State Purdue is this week. Which, for context, if you don't know why I'm highlighting this game, because Purdue's unranked. Last time Ohio State went to Purdue and played them at Purdue was Urban Meyer's last year in 2018, and Purdue spanked them. Ohio State is 19.5 point favorite, and honestly, let's see what was the difference, but I want them to win and win as much as they got blown out as last time. But the game's at 12 p.m. But the weirdest thing about this game, just give me a moment, is that it's exclusively going to be on Peacock. So not even like Fox or NBC or ESPN. No. Exclusively on Peacock. So if you don't have Peacock, you can't watch a game. That's just absurd. I'm sorry. And at this point, I'm probably going to need to find Peacock to watch this game. Last time Ohio State lost by 29 points, which is below the over-under line, what their favorite line is. They're only favored by 19.5. I want them to win close to, if not as bad as they lost last time. More urgent part is that they win, but I would like it to be as bad, because that would be the true best way, aside from winning at Purdue, to truly get revenge for that game. But to win by that much would be also even more of revenge. But they got to win this one. And that stadium is Trap Stadium. So we'll see what happens, but that's one game. Number 8, Oregon at number 7, Washington, 3:30 on ABC. All these times are Eastern, by the way. Number 10, USC at number 21, Notre Dame, 7:30 on NBC/Peacock. Number 25, Miami at number 12, UNC, 7:30 on ABC. And number 18, UCLA, and number 15, Oregon State, 8 p.m. on Fox. One other thing I want to check. Colorado won this week, but not without, their game was crazy. Is going to be them against Stanford this Friday/Saturday. But that is it for college football part of the recap. Now we get to NFL recap. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Here we go. The Bears finally won a game, 40-20, winning their first game since October 24th of last year, before Twitter became officially X, which snaps longest losing streak in Bears history at 14 games, which they were the only team to not win a game since Twitter changed its name. Funny enough. Jaguars beat the Bills in London 25-20. Tyreek Hill 69-yard touchdown, highlighting Miami's 31-16 win over the Giants. First Miami 4-1 start since 2003. Giants did, though, have a 102-yard pick six from Jason Pinnock, but Daniel Jones left with a neck injury and probably could be out a few weeks, I think, was the headline or something like that. Saints shut out the Patriots 34-0. Steelers beat the Ravens on back of T.J. Watt, late fumble recovery off a sack. They also came back from down 10-3 and have had a block punt for safety in the win. The San Francisco 49ers utterly destroyed the Dallas Cowboys 42-10, marked 15 straight regular season wins, which is tied for most in franchise history. George Kittle had 3 touchdowns while wearing an F Dallas t-shirt. It says the actual curse word, but I don't curse on this podcast, so fill in the blank if you know the curse word, and if not, you don't need to. Anyways, the Colts beat the Titans 23-16 despite losing Anthony Richardson for a few weeks because of an injury. Jamar Chase, 14 catches versus Arizona in a 34-20 win is Bengals single-game record. Jets beat the Broncos 31-21 sealed on a Russell Wilson strip sack recovered by Bryce Hall, taking 39 yards for the game-sealing touchdown. Jordan Love 3 INTs lead the Raiders over the Packers 17-13. Oh, yeah, and Akane, the running back for the Dolphins, has been red hot since that first game against Denver. Got hurt and probably could be out a few weeks. So that is the Week 5 recap. Predictions record from this past week, I went 7-7. Overall, my record is 43-35. So, standings update. Dolphins in first place in 4-1, followed by the 3-2 Bills, followed by the 2-3 Jets, followed by the 1-4 Patriots. That's the AFC East. For the AFC North, Steelers and Ravens in a tie for first place, 3-2. The Steelers are officially the first place team, followed by the 2-2 Browns, who are on bye, followed by the 2-3 Bengals. For the AFC South, Jaguars and Colts tied for first, 3-2, followed by a tie for third between the Colts and the Titans. AFC West, the Chiefs in first at 4-1, followed by the 2-2 Chargers who had a bye, followed by the 2-3 Raiders, followed by the 1-4 Broncos. One moment. And that's for the AFC. For the NFC, the Eagles in first place at 5-0 after their win this week, followed by the Cowboys at 3-2, followed by the 2-3 Commanders, followed by the 1-4 Giants. For the NFC South North, the Lions at 4-1, followed by the 2-3 Packers, followed by the 1-4 Vikings and Bears. For the NFC, that's the North. For the NFC South, the Buccaneers at 3-1, followed by the 3-2 Saints, followed by the 3-2 and 3-2 Saints, followed by the 3-2 Falcons and Saints, followed by the 0-5 Carolina Panthers, or the last winless team left. And then in the NFC West, the 49ers at 5-0, followed by the 3-1 Seahawks, followed by the 2-3 Rams, followed by the 1-4 Cardinals. So that is the standings update. Let's give my Week 6 predictions, which Thursday Night Football is going to be a lull game. It's Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs should dominate this game. Moving on. Ravens at Titans, I have the Ravens. Commanders at Falcons, I have the Falcons. Bears hosting the Vikings, I have the Vikings. Seahawks at Bengals, I have the Seahawks. Niners at Browns. Watson might not even play because he's got a rotator cuff contusion in his day-to-day. There's a chance he might not even play this week, but either way, even if he does play, I don't think they're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. I'd love to beat them to beat San Francisco, but they're not going to. They're going to lose So I have San Francisco, Carolina, Miami. I have Miami, Indy at Jacksonville. I have Jaguars, Saints at Texans. I have the Saints, Patriots at Raiders. I have the Raiders, Lions at Buccaneers. I have the Lions, Cardinals at the Rams. I have the Rams, Eagles at the Jets. I have the Eagles, and then Sunday Night Football, Giants at the Bills. I have the Bills, and Monday Night Football, Cowboys at the Chargers. I have the Cowboys. That is this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you are new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a notification button so you're notified when I go live and or post a new video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit the notification button so you're notified when I go on when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching, and listening. And I'll see you in next week's episode, which, depending on where I am, I don't know when I'll be getting it out, but at some point we'll get it out. Episode 97. Bye.